Good morning, students. Welcome to the IGCSE online sessions. I'm Mr. Charles and I'll be with you for the fourth lesson of week 3. Please go to your course book, page 145, How to Write a Persuasive Speech. First, Aristotle's strands of persuasion. So Aristotle grouped the pieces of advice, how to write a speech, whether it is to be written, read, or to be written and delivered in front of audience. And these three strands or three groups include first, the logical use of ideas. That is presenting how the situation now to the audience versus how will it be in the future. If it continues the same way, would it be worsen or stay the same? Or if it changes, how will it be better? So basically playing on the logic strand in your audience's mind. The second strand, he named it the personal strand, which includes the play on emotions for you to evoke the sentiments in your audience to change a behavior or to do a course of action. Because if they don't, the situation might keep staying the same or it might get worse. The third strand is the social playing on the audience. That is, what if a collective society does this action or avoids this action? What if each member of us has done this? What will the situation be? And this final strand is to play on the belonging sentiment in the audience, is that you're not alone. You're not doing this action or course of action alone. What if society, the whole of society has done it? You and your siblings, your neighbors, and your community, and everyone else. So playing on the logical strand, playing on the personal strand, and the social strand. And inside these, there are a number of pieces of advice that we will meet. The steps or the pieces of advice to writing an effective, persuasive speech. First of all, you have to play the devil's advocate, which is an expression to mean don't only present the positive points of the product or the action or the treatment you are desiring, but also present the negative and negate these negatives. For example, you're trying to persuade us to, let's say, make an account on social media. Don't just promote the positive effects of creating an account, but also present the negative points, such as it wastes time, let's say, and negate these. Tell us how to avoid wasting time. This is for you to try to meet all of the kinds of expectations from the audience, because some of them definitely will think that this is a bad treatment or negative treatment, or it has many side effects to this action. Don't leave them hanging. Present these negative points of view and demolish them through reasoning. List the points as you will say them. You have to, while you're preparing for your speech, this is the one that is delivered in front of an audience. While you are delivering this speech, preparing to deliver this speech, you're gonna write it on a piece of paper and make sure you you list the points as you will go with them. For example, list them points X, Y, Z. And while you're speaking, while you're delivering the speech, deliver them as X, Y, Z. Don't deliver, let's say, X, Z, Y, or Y, Z, X, or don't mix them up. You will be confused and the audience will be confused. List the points while you're preparing as you will say them in front of the audience. Choose a few powerful, relevant quotations from relevant people. And these people, they should be relevant in terms of to the audience. For example, you are delivering a speech in front of sports people. let's say in front of sports fans. Include quotations from sport related people, like let's say LeBron James or Muhammad Ali or let's say Tiger Woods in golf. Do not include quotations from scientific people, even if they are little related to sports. But these figures are irrelevant to the sports people. Imagine you are in front of a scientific community and you quote Messi or you quote Cristiano. This will make a gap in your speech if not mocked. So choose little or few, a little number of relevant quotations from relevant people to your audience. Open your speech with an image. This will make it memorable and the audience will keep remembering this image while you're delivering the speech. Keep it short with logical outcomes. It means that for you to make sure that the audience will remember what you said, which is the point of the whole thing, you have to make it short. The speech itself and the sentences, use simple sentences as much as you can. Link your paragraphs, smooth transition. Link your paragraphs going from one idea. It's like writing. It's the same rule applies for writing. When you move from one idea to another, it has to be related to it. Not identical, but closely related to it. For you to go smooth transition or for you to achieve a smooth transition in the audience's minds. Use the rule of three, which is basically stating whatever you want to say 3 times in 3 different ways. For example, whenever you are delivering a new idea, it's better for the audience's understanding to use the rule of three, tripling they call it. And this is for you to reinforce your image in 3 different ways. Most of us, while we are speaking, for us to persuade our audience or our addressees, we use the rule of three. That is to ensure the valuable information has been reached. You can use that in your speech as well. Go figurative, suitable to audience, don't go overboard. Go figurative means use figurative language, but make it suitable to the audience that you're delivering the speech to. Don't go overboard, it means don't use too much figurative language because your focus is on the ideas, the essence of ideas, not creating a lot of images in your audience's mind, like let's say in a descriptive writing or descriptive speech. The suitable to the audience part, it means, or closely it means to the relevant quotations, to the relevant people. You need a figurative language. Let's say you are delivering a speech to workers on how to keep working in this factory and make it more productive because it will be great for their, let's say, families and communities and to their personal achievements. And then you use a metaphor or personification that is greatly scientific. Or you use, let's say, allegory from a story that definitely no worker has read, and it's only, let's say, taken in PhD level. This will make your figurative effect very much less if you use an image related to the workers, related to what they know, to their history of work, to their, let's say, educational background. Know your audience. If we can summarize the points 3 and 8, link them together, is that know your audience, know their background, and make suitable points. Go emotive. And this means you should play on the sentiments or on the emotions of the audience. This will fortify, this will intensify the effect that you want. And this is stated by Aristotle himself, that you should play, you should exploit the audience's emotions. This is a kind of propaganda. Go active, it means use the active voice, not the passive. Because the passive voice, also for the same reason as complicated words or complex sentences, not simple. Also for the same reason as use direct language, not descriptive language, because you want the audience to focus on the ideas rather than your academic ability or your figurative ability or grammatical ability, because passive voice shows grammatical ability, shows that the focus is on the object of talking, not the subject, and you are trying to encourage your audience to do something, to be the subject of doing something. Don't go object oriented, go subject oriented, go active voice. Rhetorical questions are valuable. Use rhetorical questions in your speech. And rhetorical questions include, or for those of you who don't remember them, they are the questions that don't need an answer, that have an obvious answer, common to everybody. For example, for you to state something that is good for them, and then say, wouldn't you want a better society? Wouldn't you want a better income? This question for 99% of people is yes, we do. This is rhetorical. This does not require an answer. One of the techniques used for getting feedback from the audience while ensuring that this feedback is positive is saying, does that seem a really bad idea? Does that seem a really bad idea? The answer is always no. So you immediately get your audience's approval in this way. Use the words you, we, not they. This is you as a speaker with the ideas you're presenting. You're including the audience that we're all one. We're all one society. We should do this. And you and me should do this, not they. This this implies, the word they or the pronoun they implies that we are talking about pieces of advice for a separate society, a different group, not applicable here. When you say we, this creates an effect, logical and emotive, on the audience that this is for our benefit, us, we. This applies to you, to me, not to him, to someone who's not there. So basically, first and second places of or points of views, not the third. Add a humor to avoid boredom. This applies to all aspects of life. Some people or some studies argue that the attention span for people's prime focus is only 13 minutes. So you get people's attention, full attention in best case scenario, for 30 minutes. And then they start to divert. They start to get bored. To avoid that, go to a humorous topic. Go to a humorous image. Go to use a pun. Let's say use a literary device for them to laugh or for them to divert for a couple of seconds from the serious topic you're trying to persuade them to. Stay positive until the very end, which means do not include negative language. Do not include bad emotive language until the very end of your speech. Finish with an image. If you are trying to persuade them to do something, present an image, a pleasant image, that if this is done, if this, what I'm trying to persuade you to do, is done, look at how great the achievement or the outcome would be. But if you're trying to persuade them not to do something, present an unpleasant image, a little of an ugly image on the board. If you don't do this, look at what will happen. Or if you don't stop doing this, look what will happen. If you do stop, present a pleasant image, present a nice image behind you. But if you don't do that, present an unpleasant. This is to link the good behavior with good effect, good image, and the bad behavior with a bad image or bad effect. Again, playing on the emotive as Aristotle stated. We're done for today. Thank you very much for listening. Stay safe and keep up your good work.